deck evolves over the course of the next week or so. But let's get into game number 4. Warrior for RDU. Savjz is going to play the Warlock once again.
And I believe this matchup is going to be very tough for RDU because although the hero power is very strong when you get it,
Yeah.
Void Lords and Void Walkers are going to constantly be in the way, and the hero power doesn't even kill a Void Lord.
It does not. And if it kills a 1/3, that's quite...
It's quite upsetting.
Sad. Yeah, it's pretty upsetting. But a decent start for RDU early on. It's got a lot of cheap taunts. Can start getting through that quest progress. If he can complete it quick enough, he might be able to start putting on pressure before Savjz is able to assemble a giant board full of Void Lords. And also, RDU isn't too worried about Gnome-Feratu shenanigans because he does have sort of the redundancy in his deck of being able to, you know, summon multiple. If a Void Lord gets burned, he can still put a Void Lord back in his deck with Baleful Banker. He can still summon multiples with Carnivorous Cube. The deck has really just gained a little bit of consistency with the new set coming out because you also have the access to... I was about to say Rat Puncher.
You mean Rat Catcher?
Rat Catcher. I was like, Rat Puncher just doesn't really make sense in my head.
That sounds like a cool card.
Yeah.
Sounds like a card I would want to play.
Just punches rats. It's like the crab specifically for rats.
And you see one of the new cards there, Darius Crowley.
It's a fantastic card. A 5-mana 4/4 with Rush. When it kills a minion, it gains +2/+2. So if you kill a minion with 0 attack on the turn that it's played, it's a 6/6. And it keeps growing over and over again. So it's been seen in a lot of the Tempo Rush decks, but I kind of had a sneaking suspicion that it would make an appearance in even control decks just because it's 5-mana, kill a thing, maybe even kill some more things.
It's a 2-for-1 card essentially.
Yeah.
It'll get 2 cards from your opponent for the price of your 1 5-mana card. And I think Savjz tempoed out the Summoning Portal last turn in hopes of being able to pull off that Phantom Militia combo that we the elusive Phantom Militia combo that we just heard legends about.
Very elusive.
So elusive that it's kind of ghostly. Wouldn't you say, TJ?
Yeah, so elusive that it's kind of phantomly.
The combo is just like echoing over and over in my head.
Insert witty pun here.
It looks like RDU is just going to be... The name of the game now is to complete that quest. It's only 1 of 7 so far. It's still got a long way to go.
Yeah, it'll come up pretty quickly. He's got a couple pair of Phantom Militias in his hand as well, so once he has access to more mana, he'll be able to start churning those out quite quickly. He's actually got all the taunt minions that he needs to
Yeah, he does.
finish the game, basically, or finish the quest, basically, not the game, because there's still another step that has to happen in between finishing the quest and killing your opponent.
And we do see a new card in RDU's hand with the Countess Ashmore. And that card is a 7-mana 6/6 that draws a Lifesteal, Rush, and Death Rattle minion from the deck. I believe
card.
Death Rattle. Oh, you're exactly right. They're all cards. It's not just minions. So they could draw things like the Woodcutter's Axe, which is the 2-mana 2/2
Blood Razor.
weapon that just came out from the Witchwood. Blood Razor is another draw.
Played in Warlock, it can get you Amethyst Spellstone because it is a Lifesteal card.
Reminds me a lot of the Curator, and the Curator, when it first got released, was a very powerful card and played in a lot of decks.
It was underrated for a while. When it was first revealed, a lot of players were saying, well, it looks okay, but where am I going to fit it into my decks? And it just took a while of tinkering with it and finding which Dragon Beast Murlocs were impactful, which decks you could fit it in, and then it ended up being a staple in a lot of decks. One of those being Quest Warrior, because you have Direhorn Hatchling,
Primordial Drake.
And that was basically it, but that's all you needed because it just was a taunt itself that drew you more taunts. It was a value generator, essentially, a resource generator.
And it's started to come to people's attention that, you know, just drawing cards in general, no matter what they may be, is very powerful, especially in these more slower matchups. And especially when you can control what you draw. With Curator, sometimes it was put into lists in order to just draw Malygos for a combination of cards, and maybe we'll see that over the course of time with Countess Ashmore. It's put in the deck just to draw certain lifesteal cards or certain rush cards.
But Savjz looking like he's in some trouble. He does have the Possessed Lackey on board, but this Darius Crowley keeps growing ever larger, so the Void Lord, which is actually not even going to be summoned by Possessed Lackey because he's got both Void Lords in hand.
This Darius Crowley is getting very out of hand. It is an 8/7 right now. That means that he has gobbled up at least 2 minions right now, and he's going for his third.
At least 2.
Exactly 2. My apologies.
I mean, you're right. It is at least 2.
And Savjz, all Savjz could do is just kind of try and put a taunt wall in the way to stop some of the bleeding.
Nice little raptors.
Cornered Sentry, Blood Razor, just a very nice combination of cards. And unfortunately, RDU really wanted to push that 8 damage, but I think he'll be fine just making Darius as big as possible.
I would say so.
And let's see, does Lord Godfrey clear this board? I thought there were board states that Lord Godfrey could not clear. And Orange proved me wrong.
It actually doesn't clear.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It needed one of those corrupted sentries to be a 2/4, and then it would have cleared the board. But yeah, looking a little awkward for Savjz right now. Maybe there's some kind of clear with Defile. Not particularly, and being on 7 mana doesn't allow Savjz to use the Hellfire and the Spellstone, and this Darius needs to be answered.
Yeah, he's 1 turn off from being able to do something pretty powerful with the Hellfire plus Spellstone. And Savjz, this Possessed Lackey, won't even pull a demon from his deck because he's playing the control variant that does not run Doom Guards.
It just runs Void Lords, and both Void Lords, unfortunately for Savjz, are in the hand.
Yeah, this one's looking grim. Because even if Savjz manages to get through this board, the main win condition of RDU's deck is still very much so alive with the quest.
Lucky for Savjz here, the Lord Godfrey can come down next turn and answer the board state. And I believe it will answer just about anything RDU can respond with. If RDU responds with the Countess, it will clear the entire board because the Corrupted Sentries will die first. Well, Darius will die, and then...
We'll see if RDU actually keeps that in mind. If he attacks with Blood Razor before playing Countess Ashmore.
Countess Ashmore would not die.
Countess Ashmore would not die, and that would also almost set up lethal. Because he's dealing 16 points of damage this turn. But it looks like RDU is going to be on a different plan, and that plan is to complete the quest. He's got 4 more Taunt Maidens to go. We complete that over the next 2 turns with Phantom Militia.
And I like going for the quest. I think RDU recognizes that, you know, Savjz is just almost essentially 1 hero power away from dying. And if RDU can complete this quest as quick as possible, that's all that matters. But this is one of my favorite cards in the set. That was beautiful.
It was.
Sorry, I had to take that in for a moment just to appreciate the Super Defile.
Yeah, fantastic card. You know, a lot of players were 3D crafting that Cube Warlock, Control, Demon Warlock, whatever you want to call it, was still going to be powerful even after losing N'Zoth because, one, N'Zoth wasn't crucial to your win condition in some matchups. And also because they were getting additional tools like Lord Godfrey to be able to remove board states and solidified leads. Still definitely a powerful deck. This Meat Wagon version hasn't had much testing. In theory, it looks incredibly powerful.
But you never
when
know
you
in
can
practice.
Get that combo off. But in
that's-
practice, yeah, it may need some tinkering. And now RDU can finish the quest if he goes double Phantom Militia. Can't play the Soul Frost this turn, but can get it online the following turn. It can also swing face with the Blood Razor to set Savjz to 8 to force him to have to heal out of range of Soul Frost Hero Power on the following turn.
And that's one of the beautiful things about new expansions is just fine-tuning and trying to figure out the most optimal list for a select deck, especially one as crazy and wacky as this Warlock.
Yeah.
And quest is done. Savjz is at 10 health, but Voidlord's coming down. Voidlord does soak up a little bit of damage, but we'll have to just see where the Rag Hero Power wants to land. Been told likes to go face a lot. What
By
do you
who?
think, TJ? By actually you.
If you ask Admirable, he's going to say that it only goes face. He also says that he draws the least amount of patches, or draws the most amount of patches out of any player in the history of the game.
I saw him playing last night, and that might be true. That was a sight to see.
He's playing patches in Wild.
No, but ooh. 1 mana off from going Blackwalled Pixie into another hero power.
Yeah.
But next turn, that's still gonna be deadly.
Next turn, RDU's going to start throwing bows here.
Throwing bows. And Savjz, I mean, all Savjz can do at this point is just put up a wall and hope it's enough.
Yeah.
Hope that the hero power does not decide to go face.
Because even if he draws Bloody Gul'dan, he's still going to need an additional turn to gain the value from the hero power and start getting out of range of this hero power. And he also needs to make sure he's flooding the board, worrying about RDU's board. There's so much stuff that he has to do right now at once. It just doesn't feel like he really has a way out. He doesn't even have Bloody Gul'dan yet. That was a hypothetical scenario. If he were to draw it, he'd still be in a tough situation.
It's be interesting to see what Savjz decides to go for here. Maybe just trying to build the board as wide as possible in order to try and tank some of the rag hits.
Just start baleful bankering his Void Lords, I guess.
I mean, you got to put something on the board.
Yeah.
Got to make the board as wide as possible. You can baleful banker the baleful banker. So you can baleful banker some more baleful bankers.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm trying to think if there's RDU's probably looking for a way here to maximize the odds of the hero power hitting face. So thinking, well, what if I Whirlwind Execute? What if I want to commit to Blackwalled Pixie? There's Whirlwind Double Execute.
He could go attack into the Void Lord, Whirlwind Primordial Drake, which just leaves a summoning portal, and then try and set up for the Blackwalled Pixie next turn. But that's risky because then Savjz could play Bloody Gul'dan or another Void Lord, which could interrupt that. Summoning portal being left on the board could be a little dangerous.
Definitely think RDU wants to hit the hero power button this turn. It's just finding the best course of action to take, and that was not the target that I think RDU was hoping to hit.
Not quite.
Can play the Militia Commander, and we haven't seen that card yet. That is a 4-mana 2/5 with Rush, Battlecry for the turn, gain +3 attack. So essentially, the turn it comes onto the battlefield, it is a 4-mana 5/5 with Rush. Very powerful removal tool.
RDU expends the Whirlwind here to try and set up for Primordial Drake lethal the next turn to clear up the rest of the minions on board, and then try and guarantee that that hero power shot goes to the face. A lot of things that can interrupt that. Savjz has his own Void Lord still left. Meat Wagon, I guess, could.
Meat Wagon's about to take one for the team.
Yeah.
It's what you were made to do. You were made to take 8 damage.
I don't. Meat Wagon doesn't even summon anything from the deck at this point. Oh, wait. Voodoo Doll.
There is also the possibility of playing a bunch of Baleful Bankers. I don't think Savjz is going to go for that. But with Glenda being so cheap,
Yeah.
there is that possibility. But I think Void Lord is definitely something that Savjz wants to play this turn alongside probably the Baleful Banker just to increase the odds if there's no Primordial Drake.
Yeah, it does reduce the likelihood that he draws Blood River Gul'dan if he goes for a Baleful Banker on the Void Lord. But one thing to also notice, Savjz is actually putting on a significant amount of damage to RDU, and he's given up armor up at this point. So there is a slight clock on RDU to finish out this game. I mean, at any turn, if one of those Ragnaros hero powers hits the face, he wins.
Game's just over.
And he could reduce the likelihood that that happens by trading away 2 of these Voidwalkers. And then he essentially has 2 1 out of 5s. He could even, 2 1 out of 5s. But it looks like this produces more likelihood. It's a 1 out of 4. Let's see if he hits it. No.
No, just putting more minions in the way. I mean, maybe Savjz can get there. I didn't think it was possible looking at the hands, but Savjz is a Blood Reaver Gul'dan away.
Yeah, might be a good stabilization tool. Kobold Librarian doesn't help, but it can draw him deeper into his deck. The difference between 7 and 5 health is not huge. But if you don't have any taunts in the way, which he currently doesn't, he could go with Possess Like a Defile and pull the 1 Void Lord he has left in his deck that he put back there with Baleful Banker to put another wall in place.
Can also trade off the Meat Wagon. I'm not sure if there's another Summoning Portal in the deck to reduce the cost of minions in the hand even more.
The first one was killed by Darius Crowley.
You're correct, so there is no more.
Just played from hand, so.
Just Meat Wagon, I don't believe summons anything from the deck.
Voodoo Doll, I think.
Okay. Voodoo Doll.
Oh, no. No, it doesn't.
Because Meat Wagon is lower attack.
Yeah. I always keep this thought in my mind that Voodoo Doll is a 0-1, but I think it's a 1-1.
It is a 1-1, yes.
Yeah.
So, Savjz is trying to think. Savjz could Baleful Banker the Summoning Portal and then trade off the Meat Wagon in order to pull that out.
That could be a possibility, but what would that accomplish?
Then Glenda could come down, and you could Kobold Librarian yourself to death.
To death. As long as you have board space.
And let's see. Savjz looking at something here. Forgot there was a Void Lord shuffled, so getting that Void Lord on the board was important. The cube has Echo.
In a very rough position.
Yes, very rough.
I do believe that's lethal. Execute 3 Warpaths and a hero power.
That is lethal. And it looks like RDU is going to see it and take the set 3-1 over Savjz. TJ, this is not looking good for the Americas region.
No, not at all. That is current. It is now 3-0 in favor of the European players in these matches.
I don't even know what the Americas region is going to be allowed to play.
Yeah, not Shaman and not Warlock.
Not Shaman, not Warlock.
Probably not Paladin either, but we'll have to see. But RDU, that Darius Crowley snowballing the board early on, Savjz not having a good answer to it, allowed RDU to put enough pressure